Hello and welcome to another LEGO set review, if you can believe it. Yes, after going out and seeing Marvel's latest movie at the cinema, I rushed out to get the LEGO set that accompanies it. Now, I really enjoyed the film, but I won't be spoiling it here, so don't worry about that. This is very much a spoiler-free look at a LEGO set. Yes, it's giving me more context because I've seen the movie, but don't worry if you haven't, because I'm not going to spoil it for you. Anyway, here is the set. Now, as you can see, it comes with what looks like a prototype Quinjet. It comes with Captain Marvel. It comes with Nick Fury. It comes with Talos, who's a Skrull, and it comes with Goose the cat. So there you go. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put on a speed build so you can see it being made. I have to say it was a really fun build, though lots of stickers. And then we'll come back and we'll discuss it. I've also got a Captain Marvel a comic book version of the minifigure that came out a couple of years ago, so I'll be able to do a comparison in terms of that. And I've got a Quinjet, so we can have a look in terms of size for the actual ship itself. Anyway, let's put the speed build on, and I'll be right back. So there you go, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed that little kind of speed build. Here's the finished product. It looks awesome. I love the colour scheme behind it. I love the fact it's got little shield logos on it, rather than obviously the Quinjet is very much Avengers, because that Quinjet's from the Civil War set, the airport set, the one that I've got. But yeah, it's very cool. You can move these down. This comes off. The interesting bit was actually on here, but we'll get onto that in a minute. But it looks brilliant. And of course, we've got the star of the show, Captain Marvel. I don't know if you can see that very well. Don't worry, I will bring up pictures in a moment. Nick Fury, without the eye patch. And our Skrull. And of course, Goose the cat, the single most important character in the Marvel universe, as far as I'm concerned now. Anyway, let's get started with the actual review. And when I say review, I mean passionate rant about a set that I really like. And it's nice to do something other than Lego Movie 2 sets, though I have got more of them to review. Anyway, so let's start with the star of the show, Captain Marvel. So if we bring up the pictures, it'll be easier for you to see. As you can see, the outfit is very much what you'd expect based on the movie. If you've not seen the movie, you should at least have seen a trailer or some kind of promotional image so you can get an idea of what we're looking for here. As you can see, it's got very much the gold, the red, the blue, definitely. The important thing to note on this is if you have a look, there's detailed lines within the design. They don't need to be there, that they kind of add to the quality in terms of what we actually get out of a MCU based Captain Marvel, a much more realistic battle suit, which you've probably seen, whether you've seen it in this colour scheme or whether you've seen the one that she's wearing when she's part of the Kree But yes, so there's a lot more detail on here. Similarly on the back, I mean, the back pattern looks fantastic. If you're looking at it from a distance, all you're seeing is a bit of red at the top and the back of the belt. But if you go in really close, you can see there is detailed designs, essentially what look like panels of armor. It looks very, very cool. Not too sure about the hairpiece, if I'm honest, because the hair's a little bit longer than this gives it credit for, and you know, they could have put it in a ponytail, because to be fair, she does have her hair up for some of the film, but it's not the end of the world. The only thing I don't like about this set is it doesn't come with a separate head with a helmet and a mohawk. That really did surprise me, because obviously that's an iconic part of Captain Marvel. If we compare it to this, so here is the comic book version. I do apologise for the lighting, so you might not be able to see it very well, but I'll bring up the comparison pictures so you can see it. So we've got a comic book version versus a movie version. So let's bring up the pictures and compare. As you can see, I mean, the comic book version itself is, it's almost like what you'd expect if you know Captain Marvel in the comics. And when I say Captain Marvel, I mean obviously Carol Danvers. You can see she's got a sash rather than a belt. She's got like a sash, which is much more what you'd expect to see in the comics. It's also interesting to note that her chest is a lot more detailed in the comic book design, which is odd, but less important. Obviously there's a lot less detail in terms of this is more going for a more spandex look. So even if we look on the back, when you're comparing the two, you can see that there's a lot more detail, a lot less detail on the comic book version. In general though, I mean, you could easily tell that both of these are Captain Marvel. I'm a massive fan of the comic book version that I got. In fact, I've used it since before I got this set. This new set, I've actually used this in Instagram but with a different hairpiece to make it look a lot more like the movie version. But it wasn't until I actually got this set you can see the massive difference in terms of detail, in terms of design. I'm a big fan of the comic book version, but the movie version for me is the more definitive one. Similar to how the Flash, the Justice League Flash, for example, is... There's a lot more detail on the Justice League version of the Flash minifigure than there is on the comic book version. But again, I've got love for both of them, but in different ways. Anyway, let's move on. So if we move on to the next one, which is Agent Fury. So this is Nick Fury before he became director, before he lost his eye. To be honest, there isn't that much that actually says this is Nick Fury. I mean, at the end of the day, this could be any kind of detective guy. It just looks like a standard kind of police detective. If we go to the pictures, and you can see what I mean. It's basically gun holster, tie. I mean, this is perfect for the movie. It is like for like, but there's nothing really definitive to say this is Nick Fury, which is good in a way, because it means if you are, you know, you like all the different sets, not just Lego Marvel, you've obviously got, you can use this guy in a lot of things. He definitely fit him well in Lego City. You could even throw him in like the DC, kind of working for Gotham PD. You know, it's very much, it's quite a generic character if it's not being associated specifically with the character in the film. Like I say, it's not a bad thing. It looks exactly like, I mean, the detail on it, if you look on the back, again, it's just got the holster. He's basically, in the film, he's wearing a white shirt, a black tie, a gun holster. That's pretty much it. So there's not really a lot you can do. Similarly on the face, I mean, other than kind of accentuating the cheekbones, there's not really a lot on there, though he does have a second face on the back. So he's got a happy face, well, kind of a smirk on one side, and on the back he looks a lot more angry, probably around the time that you know, he joins Carol Danvers in the film. But anyway, it's a great minifigure. If, like I say, there's nothing to say, hey, this is Nick Fury. So if you had one of the older ones that's got the eye patch on, this more Director Fury based minifigure, you know that is Nick Fury, whereas this one's a bit more generic. Anyway, moving on to the Skrull. This guy with the pointy ears, he also comes with a pretty kind of Star Wars-y shooter. He's very alien looking. If we go to the pictures, it's probably easy to see. In terms of his design, again, it's very, very similar to the film. There's a fantastic design on the torso. So it's kind of like purple and blue, but it's just so bizarre. There's a lot of kind of angles to it, a lot of designs. It's really good, and it just kind of sells the character without having to go too generic, because obviously you find with a lot of the aliens, especially in Marvel and DC, actually a lot of the alien minifigures are quite generic. But because this is a named character as well, there's a lot of detail on here. Similarly on the face, I mean, if you took the ears off, this could be Brainiac. You could actually reuse this quite well as Brainiac. That's how much detail you actually get on the torso. He's only got one face, and he's not very happy in it. The ears, the attached ears they look good, but I don't think they're needed personally. I think without the ears, and I know there are a few people that I've spoken to on Instagram about this, there are a few people who actually agree with me. He looks better without the ears. So, I don't know if you can get a good look. He looks much better without the ears. But it completes the look, and the end of the day, Skrulls, as I'm sure you've seen over from the comic books or from the trailer for the movie, or if you've seen the movie, they do have quite definitive ears. But yeah, great character. Because there is only one only one Captain Marvel set out. Obviously, all three of these are going to be very, very exclusive in terms of minifigures. If you are looking for, your collection, to get a complete collection, because you're probably not going to get a Skrull turn up in the Infinity War sets. Anyway, moving on to this little guy. Won't be much to talk about here, but we'll go to the picture. This is Goose the cat. Very standard kind of Lego cat there. In fact, this exact model of cat was used in the Lego movie minifigures from many years ago. The 2014 ones, not the 2019 ones. They've actually updated them for the 2019 ones. They've got mohawks now. But yeah, there's not really a lot to say about that. If you've ever had a Lego cat in that colour, exactly the same. Anyway, let's move on to the absolute star of the show, and that is this. It's kind of a prototype Quinjet. I mean, you can just see by me holding it, it's a fair size, and it's a really good build. Hopefully you enjoyed the speed build. You kind of see how much detail, how much bits inside there go into it. The interesting bit is actually the cockpit, because it's not on a bracket here. It's actually connected on the front here. So if I take this bit off, I'm going to break it now, I know I am. But it's actually connected there, and usually this would go on that way, but it actually goes on that way. I've broken the front of it. I was breaking it. Anyway, let's go to the pictures so you can see in a bit more detail. I mean, as you can see, in terms of the kind of overall design, it looks very much like a Quinjet. You've got the kind of the folding wings on it, as well as obviously big thrusters on the back. The Quinjet that I've got that I'll show you in a minute is it's a little bit more bland compared to this, in all honesty. It's the Quinjet that came out with the Civil War set. But let's just focus on this bit for a minute. As you can see, there are loads and loads and loads of stickers. They're all adding detail, they're all adding there's a lot of detail on there. The hardest one for me is I hate the see-through stickers, because if you don't get them just right, you end up leaving kind of an imprint on it, which is really visible, and it's a pain. But as you can see, there is some nice shield logo on there. There's just from tiny little stickers, just giving a bit of extra detail on right in the center in the front, right through to, if you look on the back, you've got danger signs saying watch out for this jet. If you look underneath it, you'll see that there are 4 missiles either side. Now these actually shoot out, by the way, because there is a mechanism on the back which shoots out these, so be careful when playing. But if we move right round to the back, you can see, and if you go back to me, because I'm not sure whether I've got a good enough picture to actually show this, but if you have a look on the back, it's got a tiny little kind of port on the back for letting people in, but that goes right through to the cockpit, so you could fit, I don't know whether you can fit, let's have a look, can you fit a minifigure in there? You can fit a minifigure in that way, just So yeah, I'm not sure what you'd use that space for. I suppose you could use it for storing any spare missiles you have. But yeah, if you ever look, these missiles are very cool. Yeah, like I say, I'm a massive fan of this, and as you saw from the build, it is a really fun build. And it takes a good decent amount of time to do. I mean, it's 3 bags worth of Lego pieces, and obviously where this is the only build in the set, and this set comes in at around £20-25, you're talking 200 plus pieces for this. There's probably about 250 pieces on here, give or take. I don't know the exact amount, you have to look on lego.com for that, but you know, it's a fair size. Let me just grab the Quinjet, and you can have a look at that and compare them in size. So here's my Civil War Quinjet, and here is the prototype from Captain Marvel. So I haven't got the, let me just pull the wings out, so we'll do proper sizes. So the thing is with this one is it's, well, dusty for a start, so yeah, you can tell it's I've had it for a while. I need to clean it up actually. But in terms of size, they're pretty even, in all honesty. I mean, this one's a bit bulky, a bit more triangular, but yeah, in terms of size, they're actually very similar. I mean, if you look at the wingspan, it's almost identical. Yeah, so this should give you some idea. If you've got this set, this should give you some idea of how big this is going to be. I mean, it is nice. Obviously we get a smaller cockpit, a different design, but again, this is supposed to be a prototype for this, essentially. Well, that's what I got from the design, at least, anyway, because it looks very much like a Quinjet, and it builds very much like a Quinjet. But yeah, it's a really good set. I mean, if you are looking, I think this is going to be a popular set anyway for Lego Marvel fans, because it is the only one coming out for this movie. And once you've seen the movie, I promise you, if you're a fan of Marvel movies and the whole kind of MCU story, you're going to want to buy this as soon as you've seen this movie, because it's a great movie. I really did enjoy the movie, and as I say, there's a lot more context to it that I don't want to go into because I don't want to spoil it, but yeah, highly recommend it. Anyway, thank you very much for this, for listening to me rant on this passionate rant. I'm a massive fan of Marvel movies, and like I said, Captain Marvel, I really enjoyed it. It's genuinely an enjoyable film, and I highly recommend going to see that. Anyway, I'm not here to review that, I'm here to review the set. And yes, this is definitely worth purchasing. I actually got this, and they've reduced the price of this recently. If you are in the UK, I don't know whether it's in the US, but they've actually reduced the price. It was £25. It's actually showing up in most retailers right now for like £20, which makes it even more of a bargain. But yeah, if you're looking to get a pre-eye patch Nick Fury, a movie version of Carol Danvers prior to Endgame, I don't know if she's showing up in the Endgame sets, but you would kind of expect it, then yeah, definitely worth investing in. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you've enjoyed it. Please do let me know, give me any feedback if there's anything I can do to make these reviews a bit more detailed. Like I say, this is more of a passionate rant for me. And please do subscribe if you haven't already, and give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. And I'll be back very soon with another video. I'm hoping to get hold of some of the Avengers sets very soon, because they come out very soon. Anyway, for now though, thanks for watching. Bye bye.